Okay, we got slight technical difficulties. Okay, so I have to make a correction on, I think I called it afropiano. It's actually, hold on a second. Afropiano. It's been a while, guys, sorry. Lots going on. I've had to kind of reassess everything that I'm doing. So I'm here to reiterate what I said the other day. It's not afropiano, but Amapiano. And Amapiano is actually from where I'm from, which is I'm half American, half South African. I am mixed. Don't look at my skin color because in our community we have multiple colors in our body complexion and everything. So it has nothing to do with that. So it is a South African term. It's new because when I was growing up when I was in South Africa, that word was not used. It has to be maybe about 2-3 years old. I'm not sure, but it's definitely a new phrase that people are using, Amapiano. And it's definitely from South Africa. So people are like, oh no, you're totally South African. You're cool. You can use that because that's where I'm from. So not only did I live in like Asia, but obviously South Africa was the other part of where I'm from, South African, right? So Amapiano is the new thing. You heard that Tyler is actually trying to explain to people how and what the rhythms and the beats are in not just South Africa, but instead of boxing, I think she did say, instead of boxing them into one category, the whole of Africa, there are many, and she was right, there are many different countries in Africa making individual cultures and sounds very different from individual places. So technically in the BMA Awards, she did say that, you know, people are always trying to box the sounds together in Africa, which is definitely not the right approach. I agree with her. She's 100% correct. Tyler was right by her saying that Amapiano is specifically from South Africa, which it absolutely is. I'm also South African. I never use that term. It's a new term. It's something that I've had to learn from the younger generation because I just learned like rhythms and beats and all that stuff because that's the type of thing that I did. So I'm going to replay the track, okay? I'm going to repurpose the track accordingly. Welcome in. Thanks for popping over. I know I try to do it every day, but the lives have become more and more complex because it's not earning me money, so to speak, making it a little bit hard to just keep it going without, you know, seeing any progress or growth within the business structure. Sorry, I just want to put this over here. Okay, so we're talking about South Africa and Amapiano. It's not Afropiano, technically. Afro beats in Africa, but Amapiano is the sound that you hear from South Africa. Something is buzzing. Is that my cat? No. Okay, so I'm going to put my computer on, and we'll put the sounds on so we can kind of analyze that. My phone is charging, but I could technically show people how to create the beats on the phone. I think I was in the process of doing that the other day, but I got distracted with the track that I'm busy working on and producing for a specific thing. Oh no! Do I need to charge this now? Oh gosh. Hold on. Looks like I need to... Something's going on. Oh great, my mouse is not working. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm trying to get this together. My phone, I'm going to let my phone not charge for now, but I need to charge the mouse. So I cannot do any music on there. However, we can start with, let's create a beat on here. Okay, so I'm making life easier. It's very simple to use GarageBand to create beat making. I need to start using different platforms to start selling my beats. If you guys are interested, I do sell beats. And I just need to put them together and put them up on platforms. I have my, I have the surf music, which is what I'm doing now, that is connected to a couple of other companies in the music industry. It's going to take a bit of time. I know that this is like, and then on the other side, I'm also doing the fashion. I can't do anything until this mouse is working. So let's go into GarageBand. Let's just take this day to use this as GarageBand. There's also an app for ASCAP. ASCAP actually has an app. So instead of just worrying about going onto your computer, you can actually download the app onto the phone and then utilize that if you need to for making sure that the tracks are yours and all that stuff. So there's like legalities, which is good. Okay, so let's go into GarageBand. I know GarageBand seems to be, it's been around for a very long time. I keep repeating myself. But it was never on a phone. GarageBand was non-existent on a phone. In fact, there were no phones that were used to make computer like stuff. This is a computer. In my eyes, I don't see it as a phone. I see it as a computer. I grew up where you didn't have things like this. You would have large computers to create things and make stuff, and then music was also the same. Our computers were even bigger, and our equipment was much bigger, where we would not necessarily had the capabilities of having the equipment in our space. So now we can do all of this stuff from our place. This is my place where I've been living for about 7 years, and yeah, it seems to be a productive space. Okay. So this is more or less what it sounds like. Let's see. So we're going to do a scratch one, but let me just put this up for now. And those parts I individually made individually. Okay. I know the volume's not going to be great. I can always take this off. Let's do this. So I'm going to put it through here for now. And then I'll talk through it. Okay, and then once I have this thing up and running, you can see how I've put it together. But then I'm going to break it down and I'm going to create like a beat, okay? We're going to keep it. You guys have phones available around you? If you have your phone and if you use your iPhone, I know that not everybody who has a desktop or a laptop on like a Mac necessarily have an iPhone, but I think it's a good idea to... Oh, I don't know what that meant. Okay. Okay, let's see if my mouse is working because it was not just now. Mouse is still, it's connected. Okay. Yes, now it's connected. Good. Okay, I can go in here. Okay. Sorry, my phone, the mouse was obviously on a glitchy moment. I should technically be charging it because it is Bluetooth. What we're going to do now is we're going to just open up this track so you can see what I've done here. Logic. Okay. So we're going to, what you're seeing right now is parts being put together. I'm almost certain if you are in, for instance, parts of Africa, people have picked up that you can actually use your phone to create the beats. Amapiano. It's not afropiano, Amapiano. Okay, I even had to correct myself, and I'm from South Africa. So you would think that it's like, it's a new word. I'm 44. I'm not like a spring chicken. I think a lot of the times these new terminologies come out of thin air and they're slowly developed and manifested. I remember when I was in South Africa, I was asked to give 3 tracks to Big Brother Africa, which is what I had done. And I know a lot of the stuff that I had done back then was very housey and what I know more about Amapiano is that it's actually a house combination with pop, with a very, you know, if you speak Tswana, Xhosa, or Zulu, you're going to incorporate your own ethnical language into, like, and in South Africa you have multiple languages. It's not just one language. I mean, you go into South Africa and your neighbor, so you might be speaking Tswana, Zulu, and Xhosa all at the same time, which is what makes South Africa so special. And then you might have people from Zimbabwe. So, and then Ndebele. So you have many different languages kind of coming together. So what you'd find in a lot of the cases is if you have a track that people are working on, most likely people in the group can speak multiple languages from that South African collection of people. So they probably incorporate some different, like, languages into the sounds, but most likely they would come from the Southern Africa area. So yeah, that's how South Africa works. It's not just, you know, people talk about, like, Africa as if it's like one country. It's not. It's a continent, and there are many, 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 many different countries with many, many different languages and many different cultural, like, differences in, like, Africa. Like, I studied there, and I learned the history of individual countries in Africa too. So that's what I did mainly. My focus was Africa. That was my research, right? So yeah. Okay, let's get into this. So you can hear these beats. Okay, you can see what I've done here. Okay, so you're looking at I'm still not sure about this sound, so I'm gonna adjust this. Oh, it's a bit better. So technically you wouldn't have as much piano, but I'm coming up with some ideas. It's not really anything like crazy. Okay, so there's that. And then the focus is not necessarily on it. So if you lower the sounds of the instruments, the instruments come last. You're not focusing on the instruments. The instruments are not, like, the thing, right? Yeah. So my focus is actually, my research was on Africa. I am South African. So wouldn't be surprised if you hear me talking about South Africa a little bit more frequently, because it's something I've always spoke about Japan a little bit more often than South Africa, but South Africa is definitely part of who I am. I am South African. So, yes. And mixed, mind you. It's not like in Africa, you don't just have people who are of black descent. You have people from multiple backgrounds. And that is, I think this is where there's a misunderstanding, is that not everybody comes from the same part of Africa. Like, you have to have gone to Africa to understand Africa. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's a sample. Okay, this is just an idea, but I think the focus is... So I'm doing this because these are projects I'm working on. It's not just because I'm doing this for the sake of doing it. It's actually being involved in the music in some way or another. Okay, let me just do this quickly. I have to get into Bestop's Poshmark. Give me a moment. And then I have another thing that I've been asked to do. I actually have a whole bunch of things. In regards to the fashion side, I have a company that wants me to get involved with like an affiliates program. I also have a TikTok shop. I haven't completely set it up, and I may start considering using the TikTok shop to sell like my books that I have and the t-shirts that I've done from Amazon. I think there's a connection I could actually link those two together with. So yeah, it's all going to get a little interesting. We'll see what happens. Let me just do my Poshmark quickly. Poshmark. I need to do this. So every couple of hours I need to share out my live to these things. Like, so like, you know, they do it at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock, and then one at 10. So yeah, it's a lot of work. And, you know, constantly posting for Poshmark every single day, 5 items a day. It gets a little overwhelming, but what can I say? You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into how to create a beat on here. Let me just finish this quickly. I have many tracks that I've done. That's just a sample. This is just to talk about how Amapiano, you know, the different sounds. There's a lot of shakers in there. There's a lot of, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the creation of the beats. You can do hip-hop. I've done some hip-hop beats too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start considering selling the beats next into a larger like pool of music, so we'll see what happens there. But portability is good. You know, we have portability now versus before, where portability did not necessarily happen back in the day. Like, it was never portable. We couldn't walk around with music equipment and just stand there and work on something. It's just different now. Okay, just had to do my Poshmark quickly. We're going to go back into GarageBand. I don't know if you guys know how to upload tracks onto SoundCloud. I don't know if you can do it on Spotify, but SoundCloud you can upload from GarageBand straight onto the SoundCloud if you have one. You might have to be 18 and older for Spotify. Maybe SoundCloud as well, but I think, yeah, there are like lots of things. So I'm going to start a new one. Let's start a new one. Let's start a new beat, new track. New. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I keep repeating myself on this, but I think a lot of people like this. So this is what it looks like. Let's start over. Okay. So say you have GarageBand opened. Okay, these are, I have like multiple things that I've worked on. You're going to press that cross button over there. If you want to create a beat by using one of these sounds, you can do that. I'll give you an example, and then we'll go back out and try another one. Okay, but they've preset up the sounds, right? It's a bit housey. That's definitely house. But this is not... Okay, so we're going to go back out. Close. So that is not the technical way to create beats. This is just, I call this practice. These are practice little things to see what it sounds like to create the beats. Oh no, I don't want it. We were just here. Okay, close. Let's do another one. Let's do, I think there was one that had beats, R&B. You have to download these first though. Okay, so these are experimental. I don't call these creating it from scratch. But this is how I started on here because I was trying to figure out how to use it. This is a good place to start. How are you doing, Bradley? Yeah, I know. I talk to myself a lot lately. I haven't been doing the lives as frequently. I think it's because I have to do stuff. You know, it's great to do these lives, but at the same time, I was trying to get the videos going, and would rather watch the lives than the videos, which is like a bit crazy, but it is the case. Okay, which is okay because you're speaking to me one on one, which I think is an understandable purpose. Yeah, I think we all have. I think it's, you know, first of all, in the United States, the weather's changing. And second of all, there are a lot of, I know for a fact that there are a lot of young people that are on these lives. Um, I haven't seen as many often or recently because I think they're either, if they're overseas, they're either in bed by now because they're back in school, or they acknowledge that this is a space that's not necessarily for younger people. Like, I'm not sitting there teaching them note by note, like how to play a piano. It's like a little bit more technical. So it's not necessarily, you know, it's not a live or a channel that's just focused on the theory. I think people get it wrong. It's not a theory thing. Okay. And I had another person say, so who taught you how to learn to compose music? And I was like, I taught myself because I had nobody during the time of when I studied music. I still, you know, I still work on music, who taught me how to compose. So this is all, you have to be self-motivated, I'm sure. I know I have to be self-motivated to do this kind of stuff. Let's go back into this. So I have this on the live. Okay, I have discussed this before. These are beats. Like, I have created using these. It's not the most, like, you can do it, but I think you need to be a little bit more, creative, because you don't want, for instance, if you're doing like some tracks and the tracks are beginning to sound too similar to somebody else's, most likely they've used the same sounds. All right, but we'll use this as an experiment. Oh, it's on the same. Okay, hold on. So it's already preset. If you download the sounds that they already have, they preset the sounds for you, making it easy to create basic beats. It's okay. I would personally do it from scratch. Okay. So that's one way to do it. So what I did is I went through this. I opened this up. Oh, I'm kidding. Okay. So we were just pressing these over here. I would highly recommend, once you feel confident and comfortable with those sounds, to go into this section. There's a lot to learn. Okay. So you're going to, you know, building it from scratch, which is what I do. I build it from scratch to create the sounds that you see and hear on most of the tracks that I do. Or I use the keyboard to create my beats. Yeah, so that's like, you know. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're doing beats today. I have Amapiano. There are many different ways you can do this, but let's do, you can even get the files from your, the ones that you've downloaded. Say, for instance, you've sent it back to yourself from the computer, and reuse those and put them back on here for loops. So it's really, it gets very technical. Just because GarageBand says GarageBand, people assume it's like a new format. I think GarageBand has advanced. It's actually a simpler version of Logic. Logic just doesn't have this on a phone. It's not portable. Sorry, you have it on an iPad for Logic Pro X, but I think this is just more practical. So if you're sitting down and having lunch with somebody and you have your headphones, you can create a track. Okay, we're going to apply loops. So the loops that you've downloaded, technically speaking, you have a whole array of these on here. I don't know if it's glaring. I think there's a glare. Sorry, guys, if there's a glare. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Is that visible? I don't think it's visible. I think there's quite a glare, but you can hear it. Okay. Let's go to drums. Let's go to kits. Many different ways to do this. But technically, I should be teaching people and earning money by teaching people how to do this. It shouldn't actually be a free course because I'm not getting paid on YouTube, hypothetically speaking, you know? So you can, if you really want to learn more technical stuff, I do have Fiverr courses. I prefer to stay on there. I don't like to get off of it. Okay, let's say we're doing an Amapiano. We're going to go to shakers. Let's go to shakers. Where are the shakers? Let's do shakers. Okay, shakers. Okay. Shakers. Okay. Start with some shakers. Shakers. Okay. And you can see when you drag it, you can drag the item to these parts, and you can technically move these up and down once you have a certain amount. Okay. Then you put another, that little cross sign. It says instruments. Okay, let's do instruments. Let's do instruments. Let's go into the drums. So as you can see, they're different, like they're different categories for drums. There's even different sounds of the drum kit. Let's do beat sequencer. Let's make it easy. This is an easy way to do it. Okay, so you can sequence your own sounds. And that could be created into a loop. Okay, let's tempo. Let's move it up a little bit. And you can take them out. Okay, so you have to start from scratch. You need to, I mean, if you're going to do this from scratch, you do it from scratch. You know, it's not going to sound like this. Let's just stop this. Oh, great. Okay, now. Okay, so it's not going to sound like this when you're completed. I mean, it's certainly not going to sound like a final product. You need to break it down. This is just one piece. Let's just save this for now. File, save. It's not going to sound like... Okay, so let's open... Let's go to Asia. It's not going to sound like this. Like, I had to build these from ground zero. I don't have somebody guiding me and saying, this is what you need to do. I never took, like, in all honesty, nobody's ever taught me how to put this together. I've learned everything by myself. Okay? This is all self-taught. All of it. Like maybe the piano part I learned how to play, but it's all self-taught. It's not... Yeah, it's all self-taught. This even has a bit of an... didn't think about it, but it does have a little bit of an African, South African kind of afropiano sound with the beats. There's a bit of a reggae sound, actually. It's not quite... Okay, so that's what it sounds like when you've worked on the piece already. That will not happen at the beginning. Okay, so that's a final product, just about. Just waiting to hear an approval from a group, and then we'll take it from there. let's go to, which other piece? There she goes. Okay, I haven't played this in a while. Open a solar eclipse of the sea. I don't think I've played that in a while at all. These are pieces. I have like tons of pieces. Cancel. We're not going to download anything. Let's see what we got here. It could be a complete disaster. I don't know. These are older pieces. Okay, so they're like, okay, and then, you know, vocals and stuff go on later. I don't do vocals necessarily because that's not my thing. Yeah, I mean, I can. So all of these are, yes, I have composed, but when I composed them, I started with the piano parts. I didn't start, some of them I started with the beat, some of them I started with the composition. So I think it all depends on how you create your music, if you compose, or if you're still learning how to read music. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, I don't think I'm going to be like, you know, Lullaby Birdland. So it like literally all depends on how you're going to do like your music. Are you going to learn how to read? Are you going to learn how to sing? Are you going to learn how to like compose music? Are you wanting to do all of those and putting them together for a song that you're eventually going to work on? You know, everybody's in a different place in a different time. I'm much older. I'm like not even like I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in 2 months. So I am technically like an old lady. I have a cat. I don't have children. So I have the time to actually put into, I would say, a business, because this is my child. This is my child. This is what I am creating for growth, right? I'm building this up. I've been building this up since 1998. So this is not just an overnighter. This is like we're in 2024, so it's been 24 years of some sorts since I have been producing music. Okay. And I don't think everybody has to be like if you go to live in different countries, you're not necessarily going to a country to necessarily do music. Living in a country versus learning, being in the industry, two different mechanisms. I've been in the industry, but I've lived in different countries, not for the music, but for other purposes. I've been doing music throughout the time I've been in different countries, if that makes sense. But it's not necessarily living in the countries just because I do music. It's different. It's different. So, Yeah. Yes, so that's basically what's going on. I think I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. I'm not here to be entertaining people. I think it's just more in the lines of me correcting myself when I said afropiano. It's actually Amapiano. So yeah, we're going to leave it at that. It's a bit of a muggy day. I have a couple of other things I need to do. I need to get on TikTok to figure out what I can do to resolve the issue in regards to marketing some cyber clothing. This company, I don't know if I can post it up because it's copyright if I show the visuals of another company on here without an explanation, but I think I'll have the arm piece is arriving. It's super cool. It's like cyberware. So I'm not going to just, I'm all about technology and like robot stuff. So you get like, they're building up robot pieces you can wear that are soft, made out of fabric, right? So when I get that, I'll be able to wear that on a regular basis. I don't have any tattoos showing, but I will definitely have my like shield, my arm shield to wear, which is, I can't wait to have it. Super stoked. And they said, yeah, no, you can like help promote it. I just don't know how to because it will be from a different site. So we'll have to see, but it could be something. Okay, folks, I'm not going to be on like a long thing. Let's see what else I have here for music. I'm just not going to sit here and play my pieces. I play this all the time. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I do multiple things in music, but I would prefer for people to take classes with me because that is what I am known to do, to teach people how to go step by step to learn how to do the music production side from ground zero with the music theory and stuff. So, you know, if music is what you want to do, this is a good time to learn. Okay, from what I hear, my students have said that I've been pretty good. So there you have it. Okay, thank you guys. I'm going to love you and leave you, and I will speak to you guys later. I just wanted to correct myself from saying afropiano to amapiano, and it is definitely a South African thing. I am South African. My friend even said, oh yeah, no, you're like legit. I was like, okay, legit is good. I can handle legit. You have to be, you know, thorough when it comes down to this kind of stuff. Okay? And then I'll start wearing all my little robotic gear, which will be so cool. Can't wait. Okay, have a good one, folks. Bye.